is doing a visual inspection of the readily available systems and components of a home. So I'm looking at anything that I can see, nothing that's concealed. I'm not going in any walls, anything that I can actually see. And my job is to assess how the major systems in a home are performing at the time of inspection. I'm not there to do any repairs, to give any cost estimate for repairs, to do an appraisal. I'm not even there technically for code enforcement. Okay. We observe, we document, we report. Okay. And as a part of our inspection, there includes a report, right? So your standard home inspection has 10 major systems. Your report will cover all of those 10 major systems. Whatever is visible and accessible, we are there checking for major defects. A defect is something that is going to affect the safety and the functionality of a home. So we're not there to tell them that they have ugly paint or that the floors are worn. We're there to find the things that are going to affect the safety of the buyer and their family and the functionality of the system in that component. Okay. All our findings are written in a report. We have tons of pictures, videos, and a clear description for a home buyer. Any of y'all bought a home and had an inspection? Have you seen an inspection report before? Hopefully it was good. Oftentimes they're not. But that's what it is. Okay. So when a home inspection is needed, most commonly during a home sale, when a person is going to buy a home, 80% of all the homes sold across the country, they're required to have an inspection before closing. I'm doing an inspection tomorrow for a gentleman who's purchasing a house, and he put his offer in, but he didn't realize that he had to actually get an inspection. So he called me last minute, scrambling. Lucky I'm able to do it. But whenever anybody's buying a home, that lender, I mean, it only makes sense. If I'm going to loan you 500,000, I want to know that you're buying something that's worth it. So they want to see the inspection along with the appraiser. Sometimes when people are selling homes, they'll want to get a what we call a pre-listing inspection so that they're not surprised later on as they're trying to sell their home. Investors, that's how I got exposed to inspections before purchasing rental properties and different flips and things like that. Investors get inspections, okay? And then also something that you may not think about is this annual maintenance inspections. There are some responsible and diligent homeowners who every year they have an annual maintenance inspection, meaning that it's not like the full home inspection, but we come out and we check their main systems and components to see again how they're functioning, so that they're not surprised by an HVAC issue or a furnace issue because they're constantly maintaining it. So that's when home inspections are typically used or needed. On average, a home inspection is going to run you about $450. That's the national average. Of course, in areas where the property values are higher, there are higher rates, but that's about the average. Okay. Larger homes, the larger the home, the more ancillary services or add-ons, radon, termite, sewer scoping, all of that stuff can push the number higher. We charge per job, not per hour. Okay. So you are in charge of your pricing structure and thus your income potential. Okay. So that leads me into a huge point I want to talk about, because there's often a lot of confusion around this too. Is home inspector versus building inspector. Let me know in the chat if you know the difference or if you didn't think that there was a difference. Home inspector versus building inspector. Tomato, tomato, right? No, not tomato, tomato. Well, kind of in a way. So, um, that's right, Samantha. You absolutely right, my girl. Building inspectors inspect for code. And Eric, you on the right track too, because if you can do one, you can do the other. So it's really a beautiful thing. Home inspectors, we work in the private sector. We're hired directly by buyers, by sellers, by property owners. Building inspectors typically work for the government, for the local building and housing department, enforcing building code. Okay. Remember, I just said as a home inspector, we're not even inspecting for code. As a home inspector, we are not technically qualified to speak to code, right? It's a liability thing. So we are not, even though all of the rules we follow, the clearance requirements, the this, the that is based on building code, technically we're not there for code. A huge difference is a building code inspector is not creating a comprehensive report like we're creating. They're basically saying yes or no, pass, fail. Either it is to code or it's not. Whereas as a home inspector, again, we're giving an overview of the conditions of the system. Okay. So a home inspector's focus is the condition of the home, not specifically code compliance. Building inspectors, that's all they're speaking to. Okay. So again, if you know how to do one, you can do the other and you can do them both. If you are the type of person who, again, most home inspectors, we operate as independent business owners. We are entrepreneurs. We're doing the marketing, the bookkeeping, the inspections, the report, the this, the that. If you're the type of person that don't want to do that, you could operate as a building inspector. You work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 in the local building and housing department. You drive their little car around to all of the buildings and, checking on the iPad, yes or no, paycheck every 2 weeks, insurance, benefits, the whole nine, as you work towards or, start to decide your home inspection business. Or again, you can do them both on the side. So it's a beautiful thing that we get to double dip in that way. Just make sure you know the distinctions between the two so you can decide which path or both paths that you want to follow. Give me a one in the chat if that's clear. Was that a good explanation? Did I break it down? Okay, good. All right, now I want to talk about the steps to becoming a home inspector. That's why you're here, right? You want to know how to become a home inspector. Good. I'm going to tell you. The first thing that you need to do is you have to determine if your state is regulated or non-regulated. I know it may seem a little odd, but in some states, non-regulated states, there are no specific licensing rules. Seems wild, but it's the case. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know is my state regulated or not? Drop your state in the chat, and I'll let you know. So we can complete step one right now. Regulated states have specific rules around educational hours, licensing, the exam, etc., etc., whereas unregulated states don't. So essentially, can you hear me now? Oh, it must have been on here. Okay, my bad. Let me start over because I was going through those states. I was giving you good stuff. Let me start over. Okay, Ohio, OH, regulated. Megan in Oregon, also regulated. Shout to my girl Amanda from True Home Inspections in Oregon. Very good contact. So if you come to Inspector Flow, I'll definitely tap you in with her. Amazing person. Eric Price is in Maryland. Maryland is regulated. 72 hours are required. Tyler, MT, is that Montana? If so, Montana is non regulated. Miss Hill in Tennessee. Tennessee is regulated. 90 hours are required. Dion is in Arkansas. Arkansas is regulated. Texas. Samantha is in Texas. Texas is definitely you know they regulated in Texas. Lucas in Florida. Florida is regulated and Inspector Flow will satisfy your educational hours. Amber is also in Texas, regulated. Did we cover it? Yeah. Did we cover everybody? Okay, cool. Missouri, not regulated. Absolutely a fact. Okay, so now we completed step one already. So now you know if you're in a regulated state, the next thing that you have to do is just go to your state licensing division or department and find out how many educational hours are required. Educational hours, write that down. You need to know how many educational hours are required, and you need to know if there's a requirement for you to take the NHIE, which I'll talk about a little bit more. Educational hours, NHIE. Okay. Step two is your education. This is the hardest part of this situation. Okay. This is the education is the hardest part about becoming a home inspector. It's not inspecting the houses, it's not getting clients, it's actually getting educated. This is where most people get stuck and end up falling off because they don't get the right education. Because unfortunately, in our industry, there's not a lot of good education provided. Okay. There's a lot of information that you need to know about. We are not like a plumber, right? So a plumber knows all about plumbing, and that's pretty much so it. We are generalists. We know a little bit about all of the 10 major systems. And if you don't come from a background in the trades or construction, that's a lot of information. You cannot learn this information from watching videos. If it were such, I would not be by. We would not be here today. If you could learn this from just watching YouTube videos and chat GPT and all that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be wasting my time. You need to learn all the 10 major systems of a home, all of the components, the materials, the installation, the defects, be able to report on it, be able to explain it. The education piece is like literally it's the foundation of everything. If you get great education, you can be successful at this and make a decent amount of money. If you don't, it won't work. You'll be chasing your tail the whole time. Okay, some of your states, again, in those regulated states, they require a certain number of educational hours. Some don't, but either way, regardless of what they require, if you don't know what you're talking about or what you're doing, you won't be able to make money, and you'll put yourself in a dangerous position because people could sue you. Okay. And that is one of the main reasons why I created Inspector Flow, is because the educational options, in my opinion, are subpar. And this is too coming from, and if I've been a lot of different things in real estate, and knowing how much goes into a house, you've got to know what you're talking about. You can't show up to inspect somebody's house at $150 an hour, no less, and not know what you're talking about. So the education is the most important part. A lot of these buy the video package and just like click through, or all of that stuff. It's not bad information, but I'm just saying that it's likely not enough, especially if you are brand new to this. Okay. Read You definitely got to read the books, every word, every line, every page. Definitely have to do that. Test is oh yes. Oh yes, yes, yes. The NHIE is definitely required for Texas. In most regulated states, it's required. Okay. So step three is to take and pass your exam. So again, likely is going to be the National Home Inspector exam that you need to study and pass. And that test is no joke. You hear me? It's no joke. 200 questions. You get 4 hours to complete. They grade it on like this sliding scale. You have to score a 500 to pass. The test is $225 each time that you take the exam. Okay. So that is one hurdle that you definitely have to get over. And again, Brandon, you could probably let them know from your experience. The books are nothing nice, and it's a really difficult test to try and prepare for, especially again if you don't have a background and without being really taught. Those books are okay. I got a witness. The books are brutal, as that's a fact. But I have helped a lot of people get past that test. People in Inspector Flow and people outside of Inspector Flow. I have taken and passed it twice. I last took it in, was that 23? I originally took it in 2021, something like that, when Ohio became regulated, and then I took it again in 23 just to check and see if they were doing anything different. So I got a strategy and a methodology that works really well to get past that test. So a lot of it is mental. People don't pass and they get to freaking out, and we just can't do that. Okay, so that's step number three. Step four is get to the money. Once you've gotten your license, your training, you've passed your exam, it's time to set yourself up professionally, your business name, tools, insurance, reporting software, and get to booking inspections. Or if you choose to go the building inspector route, then you would get your resume together and you'd start looking for a building inspector position in your local area. Okay? I mean, those were 4 steps. It's pretty simple. Any questions on that thus far? I read them every day. I ain't gonna say I read them. I read them a lot, but not every day. I'd rather read the code book. I should have had it over here, but the code book is like this thick. I'd rather read that book than those two NHIE textbooks. They're terrible. All right, let's move on. Let's look at this kind of like a case study. What it's like to become a home inspector in these 2 different states. So we don't have anybody. I don't think I saw Georgia. I saw one person from Florida. So we'll do Georgia, which is a non-regulated state, versus Florida, which is a regulated state. And this is how a lot of people get confused because the information online, in my opinion, is sort of convoluted. It's not always very clear. um Especially when it comes to non-regulated states, because there is no information. Okay, so people think that because the state has no rules, that they can just, like, any Joe Schmo can pop up to there tomorrow, and say that they're a home inspector. And quite honestly, that's why a lot of times in non-regulated states the quality is lesser, because they haven't been required to go through any education, and they haven't been required to take and pass a very difficult test. So there are pros and cons to being non-regulated. Okay, so again, in Georgia, there is no home inspector license. Okay, you cannot have a home inspector license in Georgia. So if somebody tells you that they have a license to inspect in Georgia, they're lying. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay. um so again, there are pros. So what that means is that as soon as you know how to actually inspect the house and you can do a report, then you can get started. But this is also a con, because how are you going to learn how to do that in a non-regulated state? Again, you need to be taught these 10 major systems of the home, the components, and how everything works together. Okay. I got an inspector now who just came through IFA. He's already inspecting in Georgia. He's been in business 4 years, but now Georgia, some of the builders, to do phase inspections, they're requiring you to have passed these tests. See, they've caught on that people in Georgia are just, so they've caught on. So now they're requiring, you to have your NHIE, or you to have your ICC. So it's not always, what it's cracked up to be, just because you have less rules. You still need to carry insurance, all of the. Who wants to be an inspector without the credential? Like, you didn't take a test, you didn't do anything. You just woke up one day and said that you were an inspector. I wouldn't even want that. But anyway, so that's Georgia and all of the non-regulated states. Okay. Now, conversely with Florida, Florida is a regulated state. Can you hear me? Is my sound out? Am I good? Check one. I can hear you. Oh, okay, cool. My bad. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Um, Florida, conversely, regulated state. 120 hours of approved education required, and then you do have to pass the exam. Okay, so I mentioned, who is that? That was who is in Florida? Who was that said Florida? Oh, I can't find it now. Me. Okay, Lucas. So those 120 hours, you have to find a school to go to get those 120 hours, pass the school, and then once you take and pass the exam, then you can apply for your license. I mentioned to you earlier that we are certified. Inspector Flow is certified in Florida. So completing Inspector Flow will satisfy your 120 hours. A lot of times people, they go to those other schools because it's easier, the ones that you could just click through. You don't have to, like, show up or do anything. You just click through, answer the little questions, and they give you the certification. You do it that way. But then once you go and take the test, a lot of people can't get past the test. If you can't get past the test, you can't get the license. So again, this is not one of these get rich quick schemes. This is literally a real estate trade. It is going to take time for you to learn this information. If you think you're about to try to just do shortcuts or get the easiest way, it's not going to work. I'm telling you now. So if that's what you thought, you may as well log off the Zoom. It's been nice knowing you. You know, like this is not that. If you invest the time, it will pay off, but it's a lot of information. So essentially, whether your state is regulated or not, the education is still required. Otherwise, you won't know enough to make any money, and you'll just be again chasing your tail. So if you want to get paid, and have actual structure and a real business and you got to invest the time into your education and don't rely on just what your state requires. Okay. So we covered some of those, the rest of the non-regulated states: Cali, Colorado, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Kansas, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, Utah, Wyoming are all non regulated. So if you are from any of those states, I should see you in class come August the 10th, and you will be launching your business very shortly thereafter. Any questions on that? All right, now I want to shift, and now that we talked about how to do it and all of the particulars, now I want to shift and tell you about Inspector Flow and basically how we are the path to becoming a home inspector. Okay, so it wouldn't be fair to tell you all of the steps and then not give you a recommendation on where you can get your education to start. So Inspector Flow is a real school. It's a real home inspector school. It's not just a course, or it's not something you can just download and look over. It's not that. We provide comprehensive education for people who are looking to learn how to inspect homes and actually get paid for it. It's designed to teach you how houses work, how to inspect them, and how to report on the findings. So this is the whole kit and caboodle. It is not again passive, meaning you can log on and watch some videos. We teach it live. So you are in a live virtual classroom. We assign homework. We hold students accountable. It is literally like school. Okay. I started Inspector Flow because I saw very quickly when I got into the industry that there were too many people, that there was not enough quality education. There was not enough or any diversity. The average home inspector is a white guy ages 50 to 55. No problem. But where are the women? Where are the minorities? Where are the people who are up under the age of 50? We have a diverse group of people who are purchasing homes. So we should have a diverse group of people who are inspecting homes. And if we're going to have that diversity, you have to have a way to educate them. You have to have a way to give them the proper training to where they'll know enough to actually be successful. I saw people spending a lot of money on different programs where again you actually click through, you're just watching videos. They don't teach you anything practical. People, trying to pick this up on YouTube, and it's just you just can't do it that way. And so the curriculum that I created is based literally on the 10 major systems that we find in every home. Every single week of class is dedicated to one of those systems. In addition to the systems, we also teach and talk about again how to write the professional home inspection report. Your inspection is the service that you provide to the client. The report is the product. They both need to be good. They go together. Okay. So this is full on school. This is not some like little boot camp test prep situation. This is full on school. Okay. What makes us different is our live instruction. Every single class is taught live, just like this. You can ask questions. You will be asked questions. You can get clarity. You will see a presentation. You get taught in real time. Number two is it's structured. It is 12 weeks, 16 classes of organized training, assignments, quizzes, exams, etc., etc. This is designed, again, to give you accountability to make sure you are actually learning and retaining the information. There's support. You're not on your own. We have 100, excuse me, over 100 alumni from 22 different states at this point. There's probably a few people from your state who have already gone through inspector flow. Some of them are inspecting, some of them are doing different things. In addition to actually an instructor, I can't tell you how many messages I get from people who are sending me messages asking me questions about their school because they have no live instructor. They have nobody to talk to. Again, that's not best practice if you want to actually learn the information. The support piece is huge. Uh, we really prepare you for the work, for number one, passing the test. None of this works if you don't pass that test. Even at this point, even in a non-regulated state, you need to pass either NHIE or ICC, or you're gonna have issues, right? So you have to be prepared for those tests. You need a strategy, you need a system to actually prepare for the test. That's the first step of it all. Okay. We are especially designed for minorities, women, and youth, what I call non-traditional inspectors, people who do not come from a background in the trades or in construction. There's this thing, that floats around that says, oh, well, you have to have that in order to be an inspector. And that's simply not true. Obviously, it's helpful, but you can learn this information. And I got the receipts, I got the data to prove it. Some of our students, we got accountants, we've got moms, we got servers, we've got, all different types of people who knew nothing about a home. After their session, they can tell you all about it, inside and out, top and bottom. Okay. So those are a couple of distinct differences that set us aside from a lot of the education that's allowed. At this point, as I mentioned, we got over 100 students, 100 alumni at this point from 22 different states that have gone through inspector flow since we started in 2021. Most of them came in with no knowledge, no experience, no background in any of this. Okay. Also, we are certified, as I mentioned, to provide your official home inspection education. If you are in Florida, Indiana, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Montana. I think I misspoke earlier, Tyler. I said non-regulated for Montana. Colorado is non-regulated. Montana is regulated, but we provide the educational hours for Montana. So that means if you live in one of those states, Inspector Flow will meet the requirements. It's already approved by your licensing board. So you will knock out that step of the pre-licensing education. Then all you have to do is go on to take your exam. Give me a one in the chat if you're still with me. Same with adjusting. That was a smart move. Knowing is half the battle. Yeah, that's a fact. No shortcuts. It was oddly going. No shortcuts at all with learning the material. That's a fact. That's the last thing you want to do is be out at a house and not know what you're talking about. People have paid you. Yikes. Montana. So what would I have to do? You'll have to come to Inspector Flow, go to 12 weeks of training, pass the exam. I'll give you a certificate that you take to Montana. You pass your NHIE, you'll take both of those certificates to Montana, and they will give you a license. In short, that's what you'll have to do. All right, let me tell you what's included. As I mentioned, there are 16 classes in 12 weeks. Okay. So again, they are all live virtually via Zoom. They are instructor led. You will not have recorded videos. We will be on the Zoom together, just like we are now. Okay. Every class includes study guides. We take quizzes. We have a total of 3 exams, 2 exams during session and a final exam. We typically have quizzes, a few times a month. In addition to that, while we are learning the 10 major systems, we're also going to learn how to write the report, how to write a professional report, because what you don't know is the report is what is one of the things that sets you apart as a new inspector. When you're going to be vying for business, how quickly, how efficient, and how thorough your report is will determine how easily you are to get work. And then one of my favorite parts about this is once you get on the alumni side of things, post graduation is when we get into a lot of the business, the home inspector business side of things, setting up your business, marketing your business, growing it, doing all of those kinds of things. Okay. So all of that is what you can expect as an inspector flow student. Now, how all of this shakes out is basically on Sundays, and there are a few Fridays when we have class. Class is at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. The doors to the classroom open at 6:55. Those doors lock at 7:03. Okay. I don't know how you found out about me, but I run a very tight ship. I don't Are there any alumni in here tonight? I don't
Yes.
Who is that? Oh, Viv. What's up, Viv? Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Viv, tell them about your class experience. Viv is from IF2.
Yeah, so I feel like my class experience was good. I came back for the refresher. I feel like the first time I definitely didn't take it seriously. This definitely reminds me of a college class. So yeah, I feel like I just didn't take it seriously the first time. But Nita's like a coach. If you're not going hard enough, she gonna speak up and tell you about yourself. But I feel like that's the accountability. Like I like that. You want somebody to basically care about your process and if you're really taking it seriously or not.
That's a fact.
But I did, yeah. What were you saying?
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but so before I came to Inspector Flow, I did try taking another course somewhere else. I can't even remember where it was, but it was basically like the click through and stuff like that. So I definitely, it is good to actually like have somebody you can talk to. And once you take the class, you're in like a group chat with other people who've taken the class, other people who are currently in business. So if you have any questions, they answer your questions. I was just in the chat last week. We was talking about bear spray. But yeah, let me think, because I did just break this down. You have other people in the class with you who are taking it, so y'all can make study groups. The accountability, the support is definitely there. And then also all the other stuff. So yeah, you're gonna learn about home inspecting, but the business, the marketing, the talking to your customers and being able to keep them, talking to realtors, it's definitely well rounded. Taking the class is just the first step. Like when I was in IF2, that was probably like 4 years ago, and me and Nita still cool. Like we still talk. I still go to events. I'm still learning new stuff. I just got my drone license last year. So it's definitely way more than just home inspecting. And she don't just push home inspecting. You could work for the city. It was people in my class who I think he was wholesaling, so he really just took the class to learn more about homes and all the different systems. So yeah, I feel like you definitely joining a family if you take the class for sure.
Cool. Peace. Thanks for that, Viv. Um, so yeah, we have class on Sundays, 7 o'clock p.m. Classes are required in our classroom. Everybody has on their camera. Everybody is available via mic because again, it's interactive. Anytime you don't understand something, we'll be looking at a presentation. We'll be looking at real life pictures of houses and diagrams and things like that. You can ask questions. You can ask for clarity. I ask you questions. We spend a lot of time together, and so it's interactive. My voice is not the only one that's heard. Every week we break down a different system. We'll walk through examples, and again, we stay until all hearts and minds are clear. Okay. Typically, Dion, that's about 2 hours. Typically, that's about 2 hours. After every class, you'll get a study guide that basically gives you the review of the material that we covered. Every class there's typically homework assigned. The homework is assigned on Sunday, is due Wednesdays at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. I grade every piece of homework to actually check your progress. Okay. You'll take exams, quizzes, and a final exam at the end. So this is how we practice. Inspector flow is set up. It's not set up like this because I'm some type of tyrant. It's set up like this to simulate, number one, the testing environment. When you go to take your test, it's timed. There are a lot of questions. So it's set up to help you practice that. All of our quizzes and exams are timed. You have to be you have to finish by a certain time, submit them, all of that kind of stuff. And being on time, to paying attention to details. We literally get paid to pay attention. So every aspect of inspector flow is intentionally set up to help you build that muscle so that you can be a successful inspector, whether you choose to do it independently or within a local building and housing. So we attendance and homework are required. Any more than two misses is grounds for expulsion. This is serious, folks. Like I said, this is literally school. We got a lot of information to learn, and my goal is to see you be successful. And I have again now the data that it just works better this way. Okay. Any questions on the class structure? As a home inspector, I love how you teach the education first and then you go to the business in a second. Yes, I had to learn that. I was trying to do it all at once at first because I wanted to give everybody everything that they needed. But then I realized it's a lot to get through the education part. Some states, again, they require you to do different things. And so making the business part available on the back end has definitely helped us. Nothing else about the class structure. Okay, I must be doing a great job explaining this. You guys don't have any questions. I must be doing my thing. All right, so this is just an overview of the coursework, everything that we offer. So again, the home inspector fundamentals, those are the 10 major systems. Okay, so that is your roof, exterior, foundation, plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, interior, fireplace and chimney, attic insulation, and ventilation. So that those are the topics that we will have once each week to go into detail again about what to look for, how things should be installed, and how to identify common defects. This is the deep dive on the technical side that most places miss, but this is our pride. Enjoy work early, so need to plan ahead. Okay, yeah, you got a couple weeks to set everything up. The next is our home inspection report writing. So this is where I'm telling you again, you're knowing what's wrong is only half of the job. You how you communicate matters just the same. So this section is going to teach you how to write a clear, professional, legally sound report. So again, identifying the issue, explain it in plain language, how to navigate report writing software. Because remember, we're out in the field doing our report on our phone, iPad, whatever the case may be. So those two, well, these three, the foundations, home inspector report writing, and NHIE, we cover those in your 12-week session. Okay. We go over key concepts, strategies, like I said, to be able to take the test. The NHIE is not about memorization. It's not one of those tests where you can like memorize a bunch of facts and be able to answer the questions. The questions are scenario based. So the questions assume that you have an understanding of the material. So we go over prep. I give you tons of sample exam questions to go through. So by the time you take the test, you are comfortable with what you are going to see. The business mastery and the marketing, those are the pieces that you get as an alumni. So once you get through Inspector Flow, then we start to talk about your business setup, setting up your business, EIN, bank account, logo, insurance, tools, setting up your prices, marketing, how you handle your pre-inspection agreement, all of the things that go into the business operations, and or some people again who are looking to tighten up their resumes and start to search for jobs in their local building and housing. Okay, so that is an overview of. Uh, oh wow, all my little boxes didn't pop up. Oh well, you get the drift. Okay, so this is an example of our syllabus. Again, this is not a login when you feel like it kind of thing. We got a full syllabus, mandatory class, mandatory homework, and a real system to give you structure and keep you on track. Okay. You should go live recording inspection and invite Aaron. It's hard for me to go live during an inspection. Number one, the clients are typically there, and I feel like that would be rude. And then also, I can't talk to y'all and inspect at the same time. So sometimes I try to do little pieces of it, but it's hard to go live from an actual real inspection. Okay. Yeah. So the syllabus again, class schedule, homework, everything is all laid out for you so you know exactly what to do. Now, let's get to the fun part, okay? Once you complete your 12 weeks, we have a graduation and we have mock inspections annually that's held in Cleveland. Okay, so after 12 weeks of classroom, we come to do mock inspections where I'll take you into real houses. We typically go into like 2 or 3 real homes where you can actually inspect. You can see some of the things that we've talked about in class. You can practice your report writing, sort of again like field training, clinicals type of thing to go along again with our book study. We also have a small celebration for you. It's a huge deal. If you complete this 12-week very rigorous training, it deserves to be celebrated and recognized. So we do that there as well. It is so cool to get together, to just like Viv said, it's like a family. It's like we spend a lot of time together in class. And once you get to the alumni side, it's like everybody shares that same bond of having gone through this program and trying to get this business started. So it's good to be around like-minded people, to network and build relationships with people who are all across the country. As a part of our graduation, the first day, Friday, we're out in the field all day. We typically do a social event to kind of chill and hang out Friday night. Saturday, we have a business lab. So this is where we go into the building of your business, and it's like a work session. So you bring your computers and we go through, okay, again, setting up your entity. What are taxes like? What is insurance like? How do you set up your pricing? What is your client funnel? We go through all of that stuff so that you leave with an actual plan to launch or even better your business if you're already inspecting. Okay. So it's important. I believe in working hard, but I also believe in celebrating, your accomplishments and your wins. So this is a picture from, this is IF 2 and 3, our graduation. These are some of the pictures from being in the field, as you can see. And then this is IF 6 here. Um, and this is I just recently some of IF 7 and some of IF 8. We're at our mock inspections. We fly the drone. It's a good time. It's normally hot as all get out, but hey, you live with it, right? Then again, the business lab. So as you see, we just get to it. We spend a few hours literally in the lab setting up your business. So the goal is that by the time you leave Cleveland, you're ready to launch. I'm a licensed independent adjuster for homeowners. Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, does that sound good? What does that sound like? Did I meet or exceed your expectations? Did you think that this was gonna be like some little janky type of situation, or were you expecting more from me? This is more than okay. Good, Eric. I'm glad. See, that's always my goal. Is I want to wow. You know what I mean? I'm here to wow you. Watch enough of your TikToks to know it. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're coming from TikTok, you already know. You pretty you pretty much so know. All right, let's talk about enrollment. Let's start with tuition because I know you want to know what's the money like, right? I saw you on TikTok too. Okay, cool, 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 good. We got a lot of students on TikTok too. I'm gonna start tagging them so y'all can see where they are. Let's talk about tuition. The tuition for Inspector Flow, is $2,500 one time, a one-time payment of $2,500. It covers all your classes, all your materials, all the review sessions, the community, the mock inspections. Everything is included. There are no additional fees throughout the session. The only thing that you have to get are your textbooks. You do also get a bonus if you make your tuition payment in full. You get a merch pack, a t-shirt, a hoodie, and I think it's a hat. So a little rep your school type of situation, as well as a personal strategy session with me before class starts. I think this is very helpful for people because we get to talk about their individual situations and what they need to do to set themselves up to get where they're trying to go. And we talk about this before class. So I think that is probably the most beneficial part of that. On the other end, the payment plan, you can do a payment plan, 6 payments of $500. So if you enroll today, your next tuition will come August 16th, September 16th for 6 payments. Okay. Same deal. You get access to everything. Everything is covered. There are never any additional costs. Again, all you need to do is get your textbooks. You can get the digital textbooks or you can get the hard copy textbooks, whatever your jam. I'm a hard copy kind of girl. So I like the hard copy to write in. So that's it. That's all. So what it basically looks like is you will enroll. Class starts August 10th. Sunday, August 10th is the first class for IF9. Write that down. That's when school starts for you. So that means that you need to start to make arrangements now with your job, with your social people. You basically are telling everybody you going dark for the next 12 hours. I mean, 12 hours, 12 weeks. You don't have time to talk about anything else. You don't have time to go anywhere. You're going to be in the lab. So you need to set your life up, figure out where you're going to sit at for class, get your technology together. On Sunday, August 10th, we ride, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. There will be no introduction. Week one, we start with roofing. Okay, we getting straight to it. Okay, 12 weeks, 16 classes later, you will finish. In order to successfully complete Inspector Flow, your attendance and homework record has to be intact, and you need to pass the final exam with a 70%. That's exceptionally important for those of you who are in a regulated state, my Florida and my Montana. In order for me to give you that certificate for the state that says that you completed your hours, you must pass the final. Serious business. After we pass the final, woohoo, everything is done. You're an alumni. Come do your mock inspections, graduation. We add you to the group chat, and everybody's working towards the same goal. Everybody is at different places on this journey. Starting out trying to pass the test, trying to get the business started, trying to maximize business. We just get to it after that. Okay? So, your next steps are to number 1, enroll. You're going to get your welcome email and all your information. There's a coaching agreement where I spell out in writing what my commitment and at Inspector Flow, our commitment is to you, what we are agreeing to do. It also spells out my expectations for you and what will happen if either of us don't meet our expectations. It's an agreement. So you're signing it says, hey, Nita, I understand my expectations. I understand yours. I'm going to meet them. We're going to be all good. Okay. We'll give you information about the book that you need to get, how you can start to prepare some worksheets and different things like that. And then we'll get you into the community, get you acclimated so that we can get ready for a class coming up on Sunday, August 10th. What are your questions? The payment plan doesn't give access to, yes, it does. The payment plan, yeah, absolutely. So you can start your payment plan today. Come August 10th, you will be in class. As long as you're making your payment every month, you have complete access to the class. When is the absolute last day to enroll? The last day to enroll is August 4th or when the class fills up. I don't say I don't like, but I tend to keep a smaller class, about 10 to 12, because again, I'm grading all the homework. It's kind of like a lot for one person. So I just like, smaller vibes so everybody can get like the maximum experience out of it. How many sessions do you do per year? So this is the last session. This is the last live class for this year. Next year, we will likely have 3 sessions. I have 10, 11, and 12 starting in February. When are the on-site inspection? The last weekend in June is the mocks. I think it's June 26th and 27th. Last weekend in June. What else? What other questions do you have? Go ahead and enroll. Get your seats. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I have 9. I'm ready to rock. June. You'll be finished in October. So class, you'll be finished October 31st, but I wouldn't have you come to Cleveland in November because you probably hate me. We'd be trudging through a foot of snow. So yeah, your mocks and graduations will be the following June, which actually kind of works out because it gives you an opportunity to pass your test, to get kind of get things going. 216, what's up? Cleveland in the building. On the website, the 500 plan was grayed out. Is it open now? It should be open. If it's not, send us an email, either support@inspectorflow.com or nita@inspectorflow.com. Yes, yeah, I wouldn't, man. Although I should, because I inspect during the winter, so it kind of would be funny to have y'all out here, especially those of y'all from the West Coast and down south. Yeah, let me know if any links or anything like that it's not working. We can't have that at all. So who's joining me in IF9? Who am I gonna see come Sunday, August 10th? What we doing? If not, it's no hard feelings. I don't feel away. Just make sure. Don't try to don't if just make sure you choose a school that's gonna prioritize your education. They should be able to lay it out just like I did. Their plan to help teach you the systems, report, get past the test. That plan should be very clear. I would love to definitely getting money up for it. Yeah, it says payments are paused when I go to pay. Looking to have me and Pops in. Oh, that's so cool. I would love to have you and Pops. Is he Eric Price Sr.? That would be a first. Fun fact, our youngest student was 18, our most seasoned student was 60. So, okay, the first. Okay, cool. Cool. Eric Price the first. And so do you go Eric Price the second? Is that how you said? If I can't do this session, I'll do the next one for sure. I did American Home Inspectors and that gave me all the Ooh, Samantha, you said it, not me, girl. You said it, not me. I will be there. Okay, cool, Lamont. That's what's up. I'm currently in school and finishing in October. I want to join the next. I want to join car. Okay, cool. See, I like that, Miss Hill. Miss Hill said, I need to know. I got to get the information now. I'm going to put it in my back pocket. I see. I like that, Miss Hill. I feel you. I feel you. Yes, yes. Can I call you Sam? But Samantha, they really playing your face with the education. I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of crazy, actually. Um, all right. That's all I have. Quick and painful, right? I mean, painless. Any final questions? Being that the mock inspections are in June, we graduate in October, we can still start. Yes, depending upon. So, Alfred, what state are you in? I can't remember. It doesn't. Yeah, wherever. Once you finish your session, I just email support for the link. Okay, cool. Tiffany, make sure you get it. Once you finish, oh Georgia, yeah. So you can start in October. You'll be ready to start before the end of the year. And we got a good squad in Georgia. Craig from KSS. Look up Craig, KSS home inspections. He's in Georgia. We just got Nicole, she's coming up in Georgia. We got Lady Chris, Telford inspections. You can look these people up. But yeah, you'll be launching your business end of this year. Obviously, there's busy season, right? Like real estate, the transactions and stuff like that sort of slow down around the holidays, like fourth quarter. So we go our peak season, is from like April to like August type deal. You know, I completed all my education requirements. I have my applications, and I don't think I need the whole course. We got to retain a lot of info pressure, so I could take my exam, your NHIE exam. Okay, check my YouTube. I got a lot of training sessions on there where I go through the questions. Check some of those out and see if you can answer those questions. That'll give you, those are literally test questions. So that'll give you some good practice and a good gauge to see where you are. Okay? Any final questions, comments, concerns, expressions of joy? The refresher is only open to alumni. So you would have had to have gone through. See, it's kind of like when you rehab in a house, like I can't go, but if you start the house rehab, I can't go behind you because you may have done something a different way that I don't really go behind. So you got to come go through. And then if you need to go back, you can go back. But if you're just looking at for test prep, it's free on YouTube. Check it out. Send me an email if it. Do you have a referral? Just a full course? Yeah, 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 yeah. We're dropping something new in a here shortly. It's not going to be necessarily focused on test prep. Again, the majority of my test prep stuff is on YouTube, for free. So yeah, but we'll have a community where, we'll do some things going on that people outside of Inspector Flow can join. As of now, all of this time I've only been servicing people who come through Inspector Flow, and I've been basically telling everybody else to kick rocks with no socks. But I'm not going to do that anymore. There are a lot of people who've been under my YouTube videos sending me emails just like who've been needing some assistance and things like that. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more accommodating in that way. Absolutely, Sam. Absolutely. It's the least I can do. No problem, Miss Riley. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you in class. Thank you all for joining me. I hope that this has been helpful, resourceful, no matter what you decide to do. I wish you much success in your journey. Peace. Let's flow.